No, I will work this in, and that's good. You know, you see, you give me an opening for my talk. I like that.
Talking about literature, do you frame yourself in the post-colonialist literature? Do you like this definition of?
They are quite they're problematic, and I don't know. You know my new book called. Let me see what I can. It's a new wide, so I have to try and global text. This is my new book, and I do talk about this term, post-colonial. It's a little bit problematic. I don't know what else to use, but problematic because you don't know whether it's referring to after colonialism, post-colonialism,
Yes,
or whether you're referring to post-independent. When you know whether you're referring when colonialism began, and therefore post meaning there was pre-colonial, colonial, and post-colonial. You know, or whether you are referring to, say, on the sort of after independence or whatever. Then I argue, is it a conceptual term that is describing a sense of being something? Is a way of looking at the world, which means then we can even talk about post-colonial societies in the past, right? Then is it also a way of describing a period? So if there was a colonial period, which means there was a colonized. So the post-colonial period should involve both Europe, say, and the colonized world. They are both post-colonial.
I think sometimes or very often we make a mistake that we talk about the African literature or African post-colonial literature, and I think we have to talk in plural.
African
literatures, because every country in Africa is really different and has really
but you can talk about African literature as kind of as containing all the various streams, you know, in Africa. But the way I theorize it myself is that for me, the defining term is really African or Euro-African. Europhone. Europhone. Like we have Anglophone, Francophone. So collectively I say, oh, that's Europhone, African literature. And I personally reserve the word African literature for literature written by Africans in African languages. So this debate is going on right now about the definition. And the other people have come with terms like Afropolitanism writers, and like these young African writers who are probably born in Europe or other places, and they don't outside Africa. But for me, the main division is between literature written in European languages by Africans and literature written in African languages by African people.
Yeah, I found that that term post-colonialism is a reductive term, because, for example, then someone like Nadine Gordimer, what do you consider? She is a post-colonialist literature? No, because she's white and
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
one has to be very careful.
I was very interested yesterday when you defined the language, the words that we have to use for not minorities language, but marginalized. Because it can be a majority language, but it's just
marginalized.
And so for literature, I think it's the same, some way the same thing. Using post-colonialism literature is diminishing or reducing
Yeah.
to a certain group of writers only.
We can say it's problematic term, obviously, but it's catching on, but it's problematic, and I think when we teach it, we should actually raise a question that is problematic term, but nevertheless, it's able somehow to group a certain literature from the formerly colonized world. That is what it actually means in practice. Literature from the formerly colonized world, the post-colonial. But it's problematic all the same. Yeah. Yeah. The use of language. The reason why I was talking about the use of languages, we have to be very careful, is, for instance, the use of in many commentaries on Africa, let's say by newspapers in the West, or even within Africa, the reference to African people as tribes. I personally find this quite offensive.
Which is Gikuyu and
it should be Gikuyu.
Gikuyu and Kikuyu.
No, they are the same.
The same.
Yeah.
The pronunciation.
Yeah, Gikuyu. This Kikuyu, because the English called as the Kikuyu.
Okay, but it's
this with the G actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in your last books, Global Ethics, how you explain a new theory about globalization, or how globalization affects?
No, not so much globalization. I think more in terms of how we connect. It's the other side of globalization. Is the other. There's good. I'm talking about the good globalization. As over the bad one.
The
bad one is the one with money, global ethics.
Yeah, this is good. We
This
need
book
that.
has been already published.
Yes, yeah.
And
Not in only in English.
Okay. In English, yeah. This one in English. No, this one is in theory. It's in English.
Okay.
And it has been translated into Arabic.
Okay.
So it really theorizes connection between, and actually it's what I'm going to talk tonight a little bit, although because I'm saying the way we connect with the world is by beginning where we are. So global actives is reaching out to the globe, but from where you are from. You start your journey of connection. This is your base in Africa, and if you're in Europe is your base from which you connect with the world. If you're in America is your base. And this challenges the current notion that the base for understanding the world must be Europe, right? And we say, no. From where you are, you can actually connect with the world. I also use it in terms of the way we acquire knowledge. Because we acquire knowledge all the time from where you are. It's all the time. That's how we do. Normally, even children, you can see it when they start with their sort of understanding, eating what they, around them, sort of. But they go on making part of their developments when they begin to understand that these organs are their own body. Then their body's relation either to their mother and to those around her, then strangers and people who are around her, or another example I give is at the airport you see children, as long as they are aware of where their mother is, they run and try to hide, in the crowd. But should they turn around, they don't see their mother. They start screaming. They are lost, kind of thing. But for as long as they are aware, they can go far away and hide and do also things. But they always return. So the question of the base, then, for everybody, I say the base is where you are, your culture, your language, and so on. But from there, as long as you're aware of that, then you reach out into the world, right? Yeah. So, and I call it global ethics because you start from here, starting point. You start from point B and you go to point B. As you move, you get to know more about this area up there. But as you know, the more you know outward from here, the more you begin to understand this better.
Okay.
And the more you understand this better, the more
Yeah.
you're able to understand. So it's a kind of a dialectical process of, you know, the more you know, the more it enables you to look back and see more clearly. And the more clearly you see, the more you're able to see the next more clearly. So
For
like
sure.
a give and take kind of, you know.
That to reach sustainability, if not our world is not.
So that's what I mean by global ethics. It's not globalization as such, but how do we reach the world? How do we become part of? It's not by running from our base. It's actually by being firm, and then from there being able to see connections and
we hope very soon can
so,
meet.
So I come, global ethics, global ethics, theory and politics of knowing, and sometimes I talk about global ethic imagination. And by that I mean when you're able to connect small things to bigger things, when you're able to connect where you are, your language to other languages, your cultural roots to other cultures. That's what I call. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, because we these days.